With the new day comes new strengths and new thoughts. And today is indeed a new day. Actually, it's the fourth new day. As you know, Dr. Eugene Giovannini joined us last Monday as Chancellor of the Tarrant County College District. And as you know, because you were part of it all, and we thank you for that, we conducted a nationwide search. It is a testament to the reputation of TCC, for which, again, you may all take credit, that we were inundated with applications of interest. After careful consideration of where we are and where we want to go, the board selected Dr. Giovannini, and I've been practicing all these months. He is an educator, until recently teaching finance at the graduate level. He served as campus president in the Maricopa system in Arizona. And in recent years, he has had the unique experience of founding, opening, and running a corporate college. That brought him to the top of the list for us. Arizona receives 0 state funding at this point. We at TCC have fallen from the high 70s, as I recall 76% when I first came on the board, to 17% of funding from the state. We have every reason to believe that that diminished support will continue, perhaps to the point of no return. So it is incumbent on us as fiscally responsible trustees to consider revenue sources outside of raising tuition on our students or raising our taxes. We feel we have in Dr. Giovannini the perfect package: an educator with multiple degrees, an administrator with several years of experience, and an entrepreneurial innovator who values partnerships in the community, a well-prepared faculty and staff such as ours, and hopefully an engaged and ambitious board. Please help me in welcoming to the podium Dr. Eugene Giovannini. Most of you were either on the screen or in the audience when Dr. Giovannini came for his interviews. And you know we put him through a lot of questions. So we thought we'd try it again. We're going to getting to know you, getting to know all about you. So here we go. When you were in elementary school, what did you think you wanted to be when you grew up?
Well, as most young boys, interested in athletics and sports, and so we never really thought much beyond that, frankly.
Very typical.
Yeah, very typical. Watched my father and his siblings, and my mother and her siblings in terms of the work they did, and it was a variety of work, so I had a lot to look at and judge. But we did have a number of educators in the family as well, and so that's probably where I got the draw.
The path you followed.
Yes.
Never mind the baseball, football, soccer. As the grandmother of 3 little boys, I understand all of that. What was your least favorite subject in school?
That's a dangerous one for me to answer. Probably the least favorite equates to the one you did the worst in. That was probably science. I apologize to all you science people.
But he can help you with your math. Tell us about what caused you to focus on and go to higher education as your career.
Well, when I was finishing up my undergraduate degree, I had played college athletics. Might not look like it today, but I did. And the dean of the School of Business was an athletic fan and about ready to graduate, and he called me right before graduation and asked if I'd like to go to graduate school. He had a graduate assistantship open, so I took that, and I worked very closely with him over a couple-year period. And that's really where I saw the inner workings of higher education, particularly at that high level. However, I went back and taught high school for a few years, but always had that desire or that interest in higher education. And to make a long story short, not to read the resume, but I had an opportunity to work in different levels of higher education, state colleges, research universities, and community colleges. And without a doubt, community college was the draw, is always going to be the draw, because this is where the action happens. And frankly, this is where you can really see the fruit, a bear of your efforts. We really make a difference in this sector.
Tell us what you would consider a good piece, or maybe even the best piece of advice that one of your parents or a mentor along the way gave you.
What was interesting, I had a lot of role models growing up, and probably the piece of advice that was consistent was be yourself.
Good one. What is one important skill every person should have?
Be able to listen.
I like that too. And if you had one free hour each day, how would you use it?
Ooh.
Not enough time to play a golf game.
That's what I was thinking. It's not quite enough time to play golf. I tend to do, on the free time, much reflection.
What is the most important personal attribute that you bring to this job?
Well, I mentioned listening was important, so that might be it. But the attribute I probably bring from a very broad perspective, as Mrs. Appleman mentioned in the introduction, was that a broad breadth of experience, and really have touched nearly every aspect of function within any college. So I do have an appreciation and understanding of how colleges work. And I often say that I know a lot about a little. So I know a little bit about a lot of different things, but not a lot of anything.
Now that you're here and you know a little bit about us, what is the most exciting thing about joining Tarrant County College District?
I think the most exciting thing is when I've had an opportunity to work in different states and examine and do accreditation visits, and you always learn things when you go there. And when you really look around the country, as was indicated, whether it's state support, whether it's other issues as it relates to running colleges today, when you look around, there are very, very few opportunities that look very attractive. And this one was certainly that. So I was not necessarily looking to do something else, but having that background, having that knowledge, seeing different colleges, and then being exposed to this opportunity here, and as I went through the process, became more and more interested. This is a great organization, and you should be very proud of it.
We are. I know you've been going to each of the campuses this week and still have a couple to go. How do you plan to spend next week and the next few weeks as you become acquainted with us and the college?
It's going to be a real learning tour for the next few weeks. Spend a little time with the colleges this week. I hope to spend time with the vice chancellors next week, learning the community. So it's a real drinking out of a fire hose, if you will, for a number of months likely, just to become informed.
Now this is the most important question of the day. Cowboys or Cardinals?
I didn't get here by being stupid. Let me say this. My children, when they were younger, we lived outside Philadelphia and New Jersey, and so my children are still all Philadelphia fans. And so when I talked about coming here, yeah, it's okay. When I came to interview here, my son said, "Don't you come back with one of those cowboy jerseys." So, but to show my alliance and allegiance, it's neither. But I do hope to be in Phoenix on Monday night, October 17th, to watch the Arizona Cardinals lose to my New York Jets.
Thank you, Dr. Giovannini, for being a good sport, taking all of us on at once today. And if you would like to say a few words, we would like to hear them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As I alluded in this process of the selection of the chancellor, it's a process in which is very engaging, of course, and as you go through it, you learn more and more. And that's the beauty of the process, to make sure it is a good fit. Chancellor Johnson Hadley was a friend of mine, and we spent quite a bit of time together on boards in the recent years on the AACC board, which met quite frequently. And I would always hear, I got the best college, I got the best college, I got the best college. And I would say, okay, Irma, we know you have the best college. But as I went through this process, I found out how true that was. And her words were very, very true. I look forward to the future of extending that great excellence and working with all of you to continue in that tradition. So thank you.